Welcome back to the channel. All right, it's finally time for the rank 3, rank 2. A lot of these are gonna be rank 2 because I didn't get one out. Showcase of Titania, and yes, I truly mean it. She is the best science champion in the game, and I really think that's regardless of 6 or 7 star. Yes, even over you, Scorpion. All right, let's get to this. There's gonna be so many things that I've learned in the 2 years, and I've learned that I'm actually recording this on the 2-year anniversary for coming to the game. These first 4 fights are gonna be I think unique or interesting ways of playing her, some different, totally different tactics that you can take that I have learned over time. I want to share with you because I know people are getting their 7 stars. I know there's even a chance we're going to be getting one. It seems like there's a variety of coins. I don't even know, but here we go, right? And one of the things you're going to do here is you're going to be using her haymaker attacks, right? Which is what's going to cause her to go unstoppable, unblockable, and indestructible passively. And what that means is you're not going to take damage, right? So in champions like this that are putting damage back on you, what you want to do is get to as quickly as you can, and you're going to get to it when you're placing the debuffs, which makes it a little difficult because you don't want to be hitting this champion, right? But see, right here, and I'm going to actually do a bad job. I'm going to throw my heavy. I should not have done that because I ended up knocking him down, costing me time. But what's happening is I'm allowing him to hit me when he can't damage me anyway, giving me an advanced combat power rate, better than if I was hitting him. I'm now going to go to my special 3, and don't worry, we're going to show a ton of fights where you don't go to your special 3. Her special 1 and her special 2 actually do things. So we've got her Intimidate up now. We've got 3 stacks of it, 4 stacks of it, back down to 3. We're doing the heavy. We're not taking damage back from Attuma because, again, we were indestructible, unblockable, unstoppable, the whole thing against a rank 3 Attuma, a score of almost 50,000, right? 49,000. It's going to win you a lot of matchups in Battlegrounds. Okay, now we're going to jump back to rank 2. I don't think I ever put out the rank 2 showcase, and actually I know I didn't. So I want to get this out. I've been talking about Titania for forever. I've been playing her almost since day 1 in the game, doing war in high tier, tier 1 war, and all sorts of things. So here we are. We're going to go up against this bishop, and we're going to talk about a variety of ways to play her. Right here is when you need her power control. Remember, she does have power control. You see, these light attacks are putting those suppressions on. I am holding my block right away. I'm not finishing combos. I'm doing 3 or 4 hit combos. I'm manipulating his power bar, making sure I get as close as I can to 3 bars of power before I send him to 1. And again, remember, the suppressions are the off of her light attack. They're reducing his combat power. They're stacking. They're also giving, every time you put a debuff on, you're getting one of your passive furies. We got close enough where in conjunction with the striker, I can get all the way to my special 3, throw that. And remember, this was a rank 2 Titania versus a rank 2 Bishop. I don't want to deal with his special 2. I'm not great at evading it. I don't want to deal with his special 1 at all. 43 seconds, okay? 43 seconds. This is going to be across a variety of metas. I think there might be 1 or 2 that's this current meta that's kind of juicing up science attackers in the victory track, but the vast majority of these are not. They're just taken over the last year. So now we're moving on to this Sasquatch. And I want to show this to you because I think I was practicing this tactic, right? Where it's just like the power control. I know how to evade Sasquatch's specials. I'm not that concerned about it, but I want to show this to you because I know there's a lot of some negativity coming out about Titania. And I'm not going to hide the ball. I personally think her Intimidate off this special 3 is not working as potently as it once did. And I want to show you ways to get around it and why I still think she is the best. Because this also isn't just about Battlegrounds. This isn't just about Battlegrounds. So watch right here. The AI doesn't work with me. He still throws his special. And the thing is we're in an okay place. We're still okay. We can go in with our haymaker. Now I'm going to heavy and then go into my special 3. And I want to talk about that because you're going to see that through a variety of these fights. The reason you're doing that is the heavy can trigger the haymaker. But here's the additional part. If this attack, being the heavy, is canceled into a special attack, the extra debuffs are inflicted on the final hit of the special. It's important to do that when you can off the special 3 because that means you're going to apply additional Intimidate debuffs, right? The special 3 is what gives you the Intimidate. Getting additional ones will basically decrease the defender's chances of throwing their special 3, right? So I think that's something else to keep in mind there, right? If you're really trying to go that special 3 tactic, right? And it's also good because your special 1 or special 2 do things, like I said, we will talk about that. Now, this other one I want to show you, this is back before I knew how to evade Onslaught special 1. So I was, again, working on the same tactic and not here. Here I played around the crush relatively well. The second one, you're going to see, I'm going to realize that I'm stuck. He's got crushed. There's not much I can do. I'm not going to be able to get to my 3rd bar of power. So here, we've triggered our haymaker, And it's cool. He hits into us and he backs off right away because we are unstoppable or unblockable or indestructible. That's kind of like an emergency use thing. I don't know if I would go in and use that as an intentional tactic all the time. Better to learn how to evade onslaught specials there. But these are the sorts of things I want to show you. And I'm going to show you a lot of fights where, like, in the middle of the fight, I just decide, you know what? I'm going to trigger the Haymaker. And just to be clear, to make sure we all understand this, the Haymaker is triggered when you perform a dash, a second medium. So if you end your combo in a medium, you can do medium, 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 light, medium. You get the idea. Or charging in a heavy attack when it's not on cooldown. This will grant Titania the unblockable, unstoppable, and indestructible. All right, now we're just going to go into, this is going to be all rank 2. I'll call out when we go to rank 3. This is like why it just says insanity on the thumbnail, okay? I've done the How to Fight Kindred video. We're not going to go over all the How to Fight Kindred right now. But here's what I want you to know is one of the big things we all talk about that comes off the special 3 is the intimidate, right? Because you get them in the corner, you're heavy, you're having a good time. You don't want them to throw a special. I'll show you what happens if they do throw a special. You'll be fine. But here it is also, is there is actually looking for the word, where is it? A disorient. And watch this. We're going to get up our disorient and watch what's going to happen when Kindred gets to 1%. He's saying just a little bit more. They're saying just a little bit more. Their whole like thing where they root you and they do the damage and the never even happens because the disorient just completely turned it off. Just completely turned it off. Obviously, if you can get 2 of them up, like we just talked about with the first hit of heavy into there, you're going to get 2 disorients. Increase your chances of turning that off. There are 30%. Those debuffs all specifically say on the special 3, 30%. Now we're going in against this bishop. Now this is, I think, before I knew about the other strategy with the suppressions. So I'm going to get in a situation here. You can see it in the upper left-hand corner. That's my Haymaker timer, the 12, it's 11, it's grayed out. And I'm going to realize that I'm kind of stuck and he's going to throw his special too. Well, it's off cooldown now. And so I'm going to wait for him to throw his special too. I'm waiting and baiting, and then I'm going to trigger it. We're all good. We're all good. Now, yes, we do have the debuffs. I don't want to, again, I'm not hiding the ball from you guys. That's not what I'm about. But what it did do is we didn't take any of that massive damage off of Bishop's SP2. We're going to get to our SP3, which triggers your Haymaker, which again makes us indestructible. So it does not matter that we have these debuffs on him. We are stacking our debuffs. We're stacking the Intimidate. We're stacking the Cowardice, the Petrify, the Wither, the Stifle, Decelerate, Disorient, Falter, and Exhaustion and Fatigue. Still come out with a 49.8 score against a Bishop who we just tanked the special 2. Furthering here, and I know a lot of people are like, dude, I know how to fight Spicy Supreme. That's great. That's great. But he can still be difficult, especially in certain metas, but not when you're buff immune. At this point, I've been telling you so many great things that she can do. The different debuffs she can do, tanking, SP2s, like all this great stuff. Control power rate, combat power rate, right? Well, she's buff immune, which is a phenomenal utility, meaning she's never going to trigger Spidey Supreme's nonsense. Whatever he does when he goes invisible, or I don't even know what he does. Can't stand him. I fight him with buff immunes whenever I possibly can. And watch this. We're going to be able to just dash right in. He backs up. We'll talk about that too. She's phenomenal for intercepting not only her animations, but you're so frequently going into your Haymaker when you do, right? The other thing to add on is you can decrease the cooldown on your Haymaker for all of the debuffs you're landing, which just fits in perfectly for her playstyle, right? Because she's constantly landing all these debuffs, every single light attack, right? The parries, these whole things. You can see this happening, right? We talked about the intercept, okay? And there are champions that you are incentivized for intercepting. Okay, we've just gotten hit. We've taken a big hit there. This is a future Ant-Man here, and we're going in, and her animations are great for intercepting, right? Intercepting is encouraged against him. It's helping you make sure he doesn't get all of those armor up buffs and things like that. We've gotten to our cooldown now on our Haymaker. This is one thing that it does take some time playing her and getting used to her, is the, like, see right there, I went ahead and just decided, go ahead and trigger my Haymaker. It's fine. It's going to help me get some more intercepts there. I wasn't too concerned if he threw a special or anything like that. And so we could work off his armor ups. She's just great for fights like this. You can see we got hit earlier and we're already back to 100% health. And right now I know that what I'm trying to do is set up a heavy, but it's just not working. So I've got my Haymaker and we whiff. This is just her. You can play her this way. This is why I often say, like, why have a chair unless you're going to throw it? Is she plays like this very skilled brute. And you can just play her super aggressively. You can play her very, very riskily, depending on the fight and stuff. And in Battlegrounds, you're often incentivized to play a little, pushing those edges so you can try to get better scores. She's phenomenal. Let's move on. I'm not going to show you this against Nick Fury. I sped it up. We don't need to see the whole fight, but watch this. If you time your SP3 with when he goes into his second life, watch what happens to his second life, because, and I was even a second late there, right? We could have done this a little faster. Remember all those debuffs that are on her special 3. And then, of course, I'm spec'd into Despair as well, which is great if you've got champions like this with all these debuffs. So we've got that off, right? All right, so we still haven't really talked about her special 1 or her special 2. We've talked a little about throwing her heavy attack and letting the first hit land and then throwing it into a special. Well, her heavy also does something for you. I know, it's crazy. It really does feel like that commercial is like, but wait, there's more. Okay, so we're going up against this Herc, and one of the things that can make Hercules a tough defender, or at least stall in Battlegrounds or in questing or anything like that, is you're like, I finally got this guy down. And then he goes immortal. Well, you can stagger it. And off of her heavy attack, she has a stagger. So watch, here we go. I should be landing one any second. Wailing, flailing. There we go. So we've got it up there. Oh no, actually, I think it didn't land because we had the Intimidate on. So we had the reducibility actually. That's fine. So we get to our special 3. We're going to throw it. All of those debuffs are going to go up. We only get one of them though, because we had not been heavy. And then when you are just playing her, this is what we talk about with flow. Like while you're playing her, does the good stuff happen? Are your abilities lined up and ready for you? And they absolutely do. And she is so my kind of champion in that regard. So we're going to get our heavy to make sure we do the killing blow. His immortality was staggered because we had the heavy on, which applies the stagger. He gets no mortality, and boom, he's done. 65 seconds, rank 2 Titania. I'm almost certain those are rank 5 ascended. Hercules. Now we're going on to this Man Thing, who we might start seeing as a 7-star. I'm starting to see them. They were in that crystal, right? When you crit him, I think he just does away with all the extra damage that should come off crits. This was the crit me meta. So he was a very difficult defender. I don't think this is a rank 5 ascended. Again, I don't hide the ball. I don't think this is a rank 5 ascended. I think this was just a rank 5, if I recall correctly. But this was the crit me meta. You can see I was running mine at the end of the screen. You'll see that I was running mine, who I know is not a rank 5 ascended. That's just how good Man Thing was as a defender in this meta. And then you can see we are getting our Haymaker. We're making sure we're landing our debuffs to reduce that timing. Because we're playing so aggressively, we're able to keep up our Furies. Like we have 19, 20, 21 Furies right now, okay? And then when we landed an intercept, we got those guaranteed crits, right, due to that precision. And we're going in. And then another helpful thing is we're spec'd into precision. That way our debuffs, or not into precision, I'm sorry, despair. So our debuffs will help mitigate any healing. We'll show that later here. And yeah, so we're almost done. This is also a nice time for her buff immunity to come into play, right? Because he wants to put those pustules on you. And you can see we haven't had to deal with that at all. And I know that fight doesn't look impressive, but when you see the other side of it, you realize how tough Man Thing was in that particular meta, right? So she's going to look even better or just as good against him because he's a tough defender. All right, so now we're going up against this Mephisto, and why do I have my notes on why I did all of these. I want to make sure I know. We're going to completely negate his healing, okay? So when he gets to 30% health, he should get this massive heal, right? That's part of what makes him so difficult here. But we're just going to go in and we're going to get to it. And I think we actually throw our special 2, which is a nice time to talk about what the special 2 does. The final hit inflicts a non-stacking 650 physical vulnerability. You can see that's now on there. He got to his 30% and his health bar went up 1, probably because he was spec'd into recovery. But we had, I think it was the 7 debuffs. I checked in. Campo MP Blaze helped really make sure I knew what I was talking about there. I appreciate them doing that, kind of confirming that for me. I just haven't fought that many Mephistos in a while. We got a 50,000 score against Mephisto, totally negated his healing there. And we actually got to use the special 2, which again, we will talk about more and more and more. All right, now we're going up against this Hulkling, who, as we know, is one of the better dual threat champions. Great attacker, but a really strong defender as well. Now I'm not going to kid you. We are getting better at fighting him in general. I think we know if we can play really aggressively, we hit him. He's not getting his cosmic charges right. He's now starting to get them. But again, that plays in so well. And this is one of the main themes I want to establish here is that it's her play style. It's what she's doing. It's what her kit is asking you to do. Like, look at that. Like, we could just heavy like that, and it was A-okay. Everything was fine. Everything was honky-dory because we knew we were going to go indestructible and unstoppable and all of those things. There's her really nice intercept. You can do so many more just instinct intercepts with her because of just like her animations, the way she moves. I don't know how else to describe it aside from that. So now we're going to go in. I'm landing the heavy. So we should come out with 2 of all of those debuffs. Let's see if that happens. I went a little far into her heavy animation, but I think we'll be fine. Now, yeah, it looks like I went too far into her heavy animation. So we'll pay attention to that in the future fights where I know I'm going to pull it off better. It's probably already happened in this video a few times. Okay, now on my next note, we should have a fight against America. It does look like one of my kids had a little fun and made a funny note there. Just so you know, I'll share this. It says, where are we going for Thanksgiving? All right, so here we go. We're going up against this America Chavez. Now, this is the 2 America Chavez fights. This is the one. All right, yeah. So I'm basically just going to get tired of her not throwing her special. I'm just going to get over it, right? America Chavez will do this. She just wants to heavy. She just wants to heavy. She wants to waste your time. You can see right there, I got totally tired of it. Now, right now, I need to keep my haymaker on cooldown and wait till I push America to a special 3. So I want to make sure I didn't throw a second medium. I didn't throw my heavy, and I didn't dash. That's one of those small skill sets I think you want to just get comfortable with. But I was like, I am intentionally going to save my haymaker. We came out, we were going to be at 3 bars of power. We're going to be indestructible because we had our haymaker. Now we're going to throw America against the wall and just beat the crap out of her, right? Look at this. Like, it's just awesome. Like, that's the sort of split-second stuff you can do in a fight, like we showed with the Bishop, where I was like, I got kind of stuck, and I'm like, I'm just going to try to bait this. As soon as I see him throwing a special 2, I'm going to throw my heavy, go indestructible. So here we go. We are now rank 3. These were now rank 3. I want to make sure we're calling it. So now we're going up against a rank 3 Sasquatch, right? Biggest health pool in the game. One of the best dual threat champions in Battlegrounds. He's big. He's beefy. He's causing all kinds of problems, right? Watch this. So we're going in, doing my best to land the heavies. The heavy is something that I will throw more depending on the meta, right? If there's a node or something like that, a buff that we can stagger off, of course we're going to look into doing it, utilizing our heavy. Otherwise, for me, it's just a way to trigger the haymaker quickly and some of the other nodes like we've talked about, or to like right here. So like right here, we should get a double of our debuffs. Let's see. Let's all watch. Huh? It's not happening, which is confusing me, and I'm not sure what's going on there. I will look into it. I will put a pinned comment in the comment section as to what I'm doing wrong there. Something's going wrong. I'm not sure what it is. I think a big takeaway is, even without that, we still had a 50,000K score. I went back and I checked my own notes. So you need to be in your haymaker for the doubling up, okay? So it does say the first hit of the clause is the first hit lands while haymaker's effects are active. So there we go. This attack is canceled in special attack. The extra debuffs are inflicted on the final hit of the special. So, okay, fine. So you need to be in your haymaker. I apologize for that. I am a little tired right now. So here we go. We're going up against this America, and this is going to be going very well. So I'm not even going to go to my special 3. You don't always need to do that. I think you can go by like how aggressive you're able to play, how many Furies you're stacking up, how much damage have you done. And you can see we are doing significant damage there. And again, the final hit inflicts a non-stacking 650 physical vulnerability debuff for 20 seconds. This debuff is refreshed whenever the opponent suffers 4 or more suppression debuffs. So I am going to show a fight against the Spring of Sorrow Destroyer, where I'm going to be throwing a lot of my special 1s and special 2s. I do often like to use those where the fights are going to be a little bit longer. In these Battleground War, a lot of questing style health pools, it's just not needed. It's just not needed. All right, so now we're going up against this Wiccan. This was that like Arcanos or whatever. She was phenomenal for this for me because, again, one of the biggest problems was your defender could, your opponent could just get like unblockable, or you could get a crush buff, or any of a variety of things. And if and when that happened, your ability to rely on your haymaker to help you like get out of trouble was just phenomenal. It was just phenomenal. 52,000 score. Wiccan doesn't have a massive health pool, but I wanted to show you like sometimes these things happen in Battlegrounds. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to rank 2 Wong. Kind of a tougher defender at times, sometimes, right? And then also this Arcanos node. Again, just showing you she was great for it. I actually kind of enjoyed this meta, and I kind of leaned into the chaos of it and just did my best to use champions like Titania. You can see I'm just playing her so absolutely aggressively, really working on being aggressive when I have my haymaker up, and then trying to get as many of the debuffs in as I possibly can, get the timer down, get the cooldown lower on the haymaker, and just utilize that. That's like one of the biggest skill asks in using her. So I'm going to make a mistake here against this Wong. It's going to cost me a little bit of health. I think it was right there. Like, I think you need to knock him down after a special 1 or a special 2. I don't really remember. It's been a long time since I had fought a Wong, but I saw that, and because of this meta, I knew we were going to be A-okay anyway, so I wasn't really too concerned about it. We never even go to our special 3. We did plenty of damage. So let's just go ahead and kind of talk about her while the this Spring of Sorrow Destroyer fight is going on in the background. Now, she was phenomenal for this, you know, being buff immune, and then also placing so many debuffs. Like, you can just see them lining up there, right, with the light attacks and things like that. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the special 1 and the special 2, because we just showed it so little because you so rarely use it. But we're starting to see fights that ask for it, like, or you can see fights like this, or like Enchantress, where you really are incentivized to be putting on a debilitate. All jokes aside, I kind of had completely forgotten that she even had a debilitate. And then because of Enchantress, I went back and remembered, because I was trying to figure out which champions had one. The first hit of the special 1 inflicts a non-stacking debilitate debuff. And a lot of you are probably like, what does debilitate do? It extends the duration of any new debuffs by 50% for 30 seconds. So that doesn't sound insanely like crazy. It's great for a champion like Luke Cage. It's also really helpful for Titania when you think about that. 50% is a long time, and this is staying on for 30 seconds, this debilitate, and it's any new debuff. Now we're going to get to it also, sorry, the special 1 also, each hit inflicts a weakness debuff, reducing attack by 5% for 8 seconds. This, along with the Inequity Mastery, which is something I'm almost always spec'd into, makes her even more tanky. So on top of going indestructible, unstoppable, unblockable, very frequently. I mean, you're like watching a fight live right now, and you're seeing like how much this is happening. When she's not in that, and you might be taking damage, you're also reducing the damage of the defender significantly by this mastery that's reducing it by all the debuffs on them. But then you're also placing a weakness too. Like, if you think about the way her loop is actually written, that doesn't include the kind of more nuky, go to SP3 style, or the health pools that I showed you in Battlegrounds and War, this makes a lot of sense. So you're going to get to your special 1, and then you can go to your special 2. The final hit inflicts that non-stacking physical vulnerability, right? And when she is in her haymaker, well, I'll tie it all together here. So she's going to get the physical vulnerability from the special 2. This debuff is refreshed whenever the opponent suffers 4 or more suppressions, which you're getting from your light attack. So you can get that special 2 up, and then you can just keep it up, right? Like, we've got it up right now. I haven't paid too much attention to it, but I imagine we're going to keep it going relatively well here for every time we get the 5 suppressions. Let's see, right? Like, I mean, we've had it on for a very long time. And then the special 2. Each hit also inflicts a weakness debuff, reducing attack rating by 5% for 8 seconds. So all of those will be increased by 50% if you have that debilitate up. So SB1, SB2, you're looking good, right? And you can see we haven't thrown a single special 3. One of the main reasons is because I knew he had so much health that if I had gone to the special 3 route, I am going to end up with him at 3 bars of power. I'm not going to kill him. So why would I do that, right? Like, I know that that plan's not going to work. Again, another thing I absolutely love about her is that she's got a loop for longer fights like this, which she's actually pretty good for now that I'm watching it again. With the special 1 and the special 2, she's got a loop for the slightly smaller fights, the more nuke fights, Battlegrounds, War, with the special 3. And then if you're really doing significant damage, or if it's an opponent with just an abnormally small health pool, you can still use your special 2 in those fights as well. I think it's pretty obvious that I just love this champion. And then the last thing I want to add in about the haymakers, and I probably should have said this much earlier, and I apologize for not. The other thing that's so great about him is while the haymaker effects are active, each hit deals a burst of 283 physical damage for each debuff on the opponent. So not only is it helping you deal with damage, not only is it helping you get out of trouble, these haymakers, right? But you're also doing more damage based on all the debuffs you put on. Like, her kit is just so well enclosed. And a lot of it even resides on her because she's getting those furies just by placing the debuffs. They don't need to stay on. So even in a matchup like that, where they're getting shrugged, you're still getting some benefit. She's phenomenal. She's amazing. I hope you enjoyed this. And I hope you learned something new here. As usual, let me know what you think we got right. Let me know what you think we got wrong. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.